Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Burton Albion England DNA series. Hope you're all doing very, very well. We have been doing okay off camera. We've been pretty average. We are sort of that mid-table sort of spot the whole time. We've just started to trend down a little bit on results. So that's is that 5 games in a row there? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 games in a row where we've only scored 1 goal in each game. So as you can see, scoring goals has been a slight issue for us in most recent times, and even before then, really. We scored a 4 there, but then it's another 1, then a 0 before that. So, yeah, scoring goals has not been easy for us, despite the fact that we're in a tactic that creates a lot of chances, but gives them up as well. So that's not probably good news for us going forwards. So in today's episode, we're going to play Fulham and Sheffield United in the 2 games, which is great. And then after that, we're going to do our 6-month review of the training in this season so far. I'll give you a quick sneak preview. Hamer's a good example. I think the players have improved so much better this season than compared to last season in terms of their development, their attributes, everything. So I just think that the schedules we've used, I don't know if they're perfect, but I think they're a lot better than the weekly schedule we had last season that we were using, right? And having less rest days and more training sessions, I think is really helping the players develop and improve, which is really good to have learned that this early on so we can improve the players going forward. You can just see this here. Look at this. The coaches are really changing their opinions on Tom Hamer there. By the way, if you're wondering why it looks a bit different, this is the Moneyball skin that I use Moneyball save, but I've got the attributes turned on, obviously, for this save, so that's why it looks a little different. I don't know if I'll always use this, but it's just easier to keep the same one, really. And I can still see the stats, so I get better in both ways. But yeah, training-wise, I've been really happy. I think I'm going to create my own custom view. Yeah, I've got the training rating here next to the average rating. Now, I'm not going to put this up as a view to download, because you can just download the Moneyball view and add this in, but that is what I've got there. And that's quite interesting to see if it computes across. Like, Keller done, his training rating is pretty high, but his average rating is quite poor because he's playing wing-back, and he's not really doing an awful lot, and he's not that great, really, is he, to be honest? Like, he looks good in League One, but in the Championship, he's just not quite good enough, is he, in the Championship? But, yeah, we'll review all the attributes and the progression stuff after. Yeah, because when we get to December, we're going to be changing their individual training plan, aren't we, for the next section, the next quarter of the season. So that's all going to change on the 1st of December anyway, which will be the end of this episode. Right then, let's get into the first game against Fulham. Now, I said this on the last episode, our home form is essential to us staying up. As you can see here, most of our points have come from at home. If I was to go away record, we've got to be near the bottom. We're not too bad, actually. Home record, yeah, we're slightly higher in our home record than our away record, but it's actually quite close. Closer than I thought it would be. So your team for today's game then is going to be Garrett in goal, Shaughnessy, Hughes, Hamer across the back, with Smith, Keller Dunn wing backs, Lackin and Taylor as the 2 pivots, with Powell playing off of Malt and Victor up front. I'm actually going to put John King back on the bench as well. I put him in the under-21 squad, and the under-21's manager wasn't playing him, so I released another youngster who was never going to be good enough to make sure that he was playing matches. So I don't understand why he wasn't playing, which was slightly frustrating, actually, but there you go. Here we go, then. Assistant manager says, pick up where you left off. Okay, fair enough. And the opposition are going to play a 4-2 flat. Okay, interesting. Okay, so highlight here. Fulham are going to throw the ball in. We put a terrible tackle in by Keller Dunn. He somehow doesn't get sent off for it. Hamer's going to drag it away and play it into Powell, who's got a few options there, plays it into the wing back. He's got a few options here. He takes, referee, that's a disgrace. Get him sent off, referee. Oh, come on, he's got to be gone. It's a disgrace. We definitely did not just do the same thing in the corner and get away with it. Good decision, referee. Love that. It's good from UF. Corner for Burton. Whipped in. Far post. Headed away. Can we get a goal from this? Come on, Smith. Takes some touches. Goes inside. Is he going to shoot? Does shoot. Keeper saves it, though. Absolutely nothing's really happened in this game at all. Like, all the things you've seen in the game is everything. Like, there's been a lot of gaps with no highlights. Probably because of the red card. Powell plays into Victor. He shoots and he's at the bar. It was close and he's offside anyway. Right, they're going to go along from the goal kick. How are we going to be set up? We're going to win the first header. We're not. They're going to get their attack. Victor tackles him. Keller Dunn wins it. I do think that we need a better right wing back, really, in the Championship. Keller Dunn's doing his best, but, like, he's borderline good enough, and everybody else is nowhere near good enough. And we could do with the new gen coming through. Powell goes through, plays it across. Mo gets there, and he scores. It's 1-0 to Burton. Come on, boys. Every, little win that we get when we, they get a red card and something just goes our way. We need to capitalise and win these games because I think we're going to go through quite a long spell of not winning at some point, and we need to make sure we maximise our points as much as possible before that happens. And we get a bit lucky, and, all's well that ends well. 1-0. Okay, half-time will say, keep going there, a man down. Okay, Lackin has an injury. He's going to come off. I'm going to put on Gilligan and switch those two there. Okay, there's a highlight before this change is made, which tells me this could be an important highlight. It could be a goal. It could be a clear chance. It could be a red card. Fulham have it, play it back. Gomez has it, plays it back inside. Hey, what are we doing? That was... I'm not going to go for it in terms of, going 4-2-4, but we are going to go double wide centre-back attack. We're going to go no volante attack. We're just going to go for that. We're going to go ultra attacking or very attacking now as well. And I'm going to throw on John King, our youngster from the youth team. He's going to go in. Who else can we throw in? I think we could probably leave we can leave Keller Dunn on. He's actually playing well in this game. And maybe Mock comes off, Salmon goes on there. We'll do that. Highlight here for Fulham, but by the looks of it, Fulham have got it. They play it across. They play it into their striker. Come on, lads. You've got a spare man in here. Come on. Get around a bit quicker. Right, they go long. Don't let them get to the second one. That's it. They can have the first one. Let Mitrovic win it. Just don't let them get to the second. We've got a spare player, so we can afford to do that, right? Let them have the first one. We'll get the second. We'll get the scraps. Winner plays across. King, and he scored! Come on! John King gets a big goal for the club. Burton Albion get their first goal with a youth academy prospect, I think. That might not be totally true because we might have scored in some friendlies, but it's the first one we've managed to get here. And what a goal this is. Plays it across. King scores. What a substitution. 2-1. Okay, it's the last minute highlight. We need to win this. They've been down to 10 men for ages in the game. We can't afford to concede here. They go through as a penalty, isn't it? No, it just about is not a penalty. I thought Hamer was going to give away one, but he hasn't. It's going to be our goalkeeper with the ball. Don't know what he's going to do with this. Goes to Shaughnessy. He's got a left wing back. Can we peel out here? We sort of don't, but Winnell gets to it. Gilligan goes through 1v1. Is he going to score? Doesn't. King does. 3-1, game over. John King is a legend. And they have it 3-1 win for Burton Albion. We definitely gonna say brilliant comeback. That was a really important victory because we need to win our home games. And that was a game that I don't know if we would have won without a red card. So it's one of those where, you know, you've been gifted by the footballing gods a free 3 points. And we managed to claim it. So brilliant stuff. Okay, then recovery test 2. We're going to do triple recovery here, then 1 on the next day as well and see if that works. Actually, I might change that to rest. Let's change that to rest. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one would have been fine if that wasn't tactical. So let's see, because it's got recovery, rest, and then recovery, chance conversion, match preview. I think this one will be okay, but let's see what happens anyway. We've got Sheffield United in 3 days' time. Let's see how tired the lads are and see if we can do the business in the game. See you in a second. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. John King is the youngest ever Burton goal scorer. Now, these are the moments in the save that I just want to make sure that we document. This is a huge moment in the save. We have had our first academy prospect come into the first team and score. So, absolutely brilliant. Fair play to you, John King. What a legend that you are. And I thought he might be useful, but just because of his profile of player and the style of football that we have. And look, John King is nowhere near good enough in attributes to be effective, but we play a style of football that he can suit into, and he managed to score a goal. He did miss a lot of chances in the first team. In both on camera and off, he's come off the bench a few times and missed absolutely easy chances to score. So finally he's got one. I don't know if it will continue, but fair play to him. I cannot believe the under-21's manager was playing somebody else, but there you go. Yep, so it didn't work. The 2 recoveries, a rest, and a recovery on the first session of the second day still wasn't enough for the 2-day break between the game, 3 days between the games and 2-day break. So, yeah, more work to be done there. Like, I mean, I wouldn't normally want to play Powell, Smith, or Taylor, and probably not Hamer either. So there's a really good chance that we're going to lose this game because 1, it's away, and 2, we're tired. That just means defeat. So we'll go into the game against Sheffield United and see what we can do anyway. Pretty much the same team except for the fact that Gilligan comes in to replace Lakin, who is injured and goes to the bench. Apart from that, same team. Let's see how we can do. Assistant manager says, media comments, okay. Early highlight, we play out from the back, we go long into no man's land. They recover it, they attack us down the centre, we win it again and just clear it. Victor gets to it first, goes through, beats a player, beats 2 players. Plays out to Keller Dunn, takes a few touches, whacks it in early into the goalkeeper. And that was very, very poor, wasn't it, from Keller Dunn? But we'll see what happens on the second half of the highlight. They go long. Hughes. Oh, actually, there's something I do want to show you about the tactic, which is I thought was quite interesting. They go through. They should have scored. Stays. No. Yes, here it is. What I wanted to show you was this, right? If I showed you my average positions for Burton Albion there, if I said to you what formation was I playing, what formation and tactic was I playing in the game, I think a lot of people would guess that I was playing like a 5-3-2 or 3-5-2, however you want to look at it. 3 centre-backs, 2 wing-backs, a single CDM, right centre-mid, left centre-mid, and 2 strikers. Because of the way that the roles are set, my left CDM's a defensive one, and he ends up moving more to the middle because the right CDM pushes on, and my left attacking centre mid is offset from the strikers right off to the left. So it can look like a 3-5-2. There'll be some games where he'll look like that he's slightly wider and higher and looks like a front 3. There might be some games where the striker's slightly more offset because he's had to come and get on the ball a little bit more. It can look like any of those things. The whole point of it is a bit more fluid, right? The front 3 are quite fluid, but really out of possession, if we're pressing high, then he goes and engages with them and helps set the pressing traps. But then once the press is beaten, he becomes a central field player. You know, that's the whole idea of it. So once the press is beaten, he would come back and help these two defend in midfield 3. Now, that could either look like a 3, like a single pivot and 2 centre mids that slide across like that, or at times it'll be just 2 sliding together with 1 in front, depending on the situation and how things are and how the team sets up, right? The opposition team. Yeah, it's quite interesting there, the average positions. I noticed that when I looked at it earlier. And I know some of the tactical stuff interests some of you there, so thought I'd just show that to you anyway. Okay, highlight here. Sheffield United on the right-hand side. They go across. They give you a penalty. It's cleared away. Oh, Christ alive. It was close. Should have been a goal for Sheffield United. That could easily have been a penalty as well. We'll just see the end of the highlight, see if anything happens. I don't think it's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen here, is it? No, it's the end of the highlight. Sheffield United throw it in. They're going to have a lot of time on the ball here. They've got quite a few passing options to go through here. They're quite advanced, aren't they? Quite aggressive on us. Like 2v2 at the back, I think, with the looks of it. They go across goal. They're going to score, aren't they? They do. It's 1-0. Corner. Near post. Hits the bar. Tapped in. Oh, it's 2-0. I did say I think we'd lose this one. And it looks like we're going to. 2-0. Corner again. Surely not a third one from a corner. Come on. Come on. Good. Okay, Garnacho on the left-hand side plays it across. Like, they've got nobody back here at all. They really are taking the piss with us, aren't they? They've got no respect for our football whatsoever. They go through. There could be a reason why. There you go. It's going to be a hat-trick for Ishak. And that's probably game over, unfortunately. Highlight here. I've just made some subs, actually, to try and get back into the game. Victor goes through. Is he going to score? Let's make it 3-1. He does not score. It's a goal. So I was taking a sip of my coffee. I thought the highlight was over, and it's 3-1. We're back in it. Come on, boys. Literally, straight after the highlight you just saw of me talking through that we just made some changes, we scored from the corner. Honestly, I skipped through the halftime team talk. I didn't say anything. Like, I skipped past the halftime team talk thinking this game was over, to be honest. You could have seen my words of wisdom at halftime. I basically just said to the boys, come on, show me something else. That's all I said. If we do come back, in case you're wondering. That is what I said to them. Well, we'll see what happens. If we can score before the 75th minute, we've got a chance. We've seen it before in this series. We do like to go a couple of goals down and come back. 3 goals down, tired away from home. Probably is a bit of a bridge too far. But, wow, I mean, what sort of defending is that? Corner, Gilligan, Hughes, headed away. Can we get to it first? We need to score in this highlight. If we can score in this highlight, we've got a chance. Whittle scores, 3-2. Have we got a chance? Can we do it again? Come on, 10 minutes to go. Ish. I feel like they're getting nervous. Here we go. Here we go as a highlight. Who's going to get it? They're going to try and turn and play out. They're going to try and stay on it. Can we win this off them? Come on, get onto the back line. What are you doing, bloody screening here? Get in there. Oh, in behind. Play it through. Ishak, unstoppable. And they have it. 4-2 defeat for us against Sheffield United. I did say I think we'd lose that game. I thought we might after the win. But if we can keep winning every other game, we're going to be fine and stay up. So, okay, one more thing to show you before we do like our halfway through the season update on the player development. I've just put in 2 recovery sessions there. We've kept 1 training session for tomorrow, and then we've done 1 recovery session, the first one the day after. So this is 2 games 4 days apart now. So let's see if that's enough for the 4 days. Okay, what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to figure out what is the maximum amount of training sessions I can get in between 2 games that are either 3 days apart or 4 days apart, and what the best way is to do it. That's what I'm trying to do here. I know there's, I could just recover, I could recover 4 sessions in a row. I could do all 3 here and 1 there. And I know that works. I did it earlier in those 4 days between the 2. But is there a way I can maybe just get this one into it being a training session as well? And the fact that that one is the recovery session, maybe that offsets this a little bit. Let's see how fresh they are going into the Wigan game. So we'll come back on December the 2nd, the day of the Wigan game, so you can see exactly how fresh they are for that game. But we won't play that on camera, I'll play that off camera. But then we can review all of the player development at that point as well. So 2 more things to look at before the end of the episode, and I'm looking forward to seeing just how much some of these lads have improved. Okay, first things first. Are the players fresh enough to start a game of football? Yes, they are. Right, so we found our little pathway for 4-day gaps between 2 games. We have got 2 recovery sessions immediately after the game the next day, then a normal session as the 3rd one, and then a recovery session as the 1st session on the 2nd day, and then everything else can stay as it is. So if there's 4 days between the matches, we've got that covered. It's just the 3 that we still need to figure out the best sweet spot for that. But let's have a look at the players' development then overall. So I'm only going to look at players that have had 10 starts because they're our first team players and some of our youth prospects as well for this. Okay, let's start off with Sam Hughes then. Let's start off with the coach's opinions of what he's done. They think he's gone up as a player a little bit on December last year. He's gone up a little bit in the coaches' opinions. They think he's slightly improved mentally, slightly improved physically. We've got a big +1 on pace, which is interesting to see his pace here, which is going to be, there you are. Interesting to see goes from 10 to 11, which is nice. acceleration sort of dips, then goes back up. Yeah, I think you can see if we look at like this season a little bit as well. So Sam Hughes, you can see here his dribbling is something he's worked on. In his position, he has had it both individually on ball control, which I think he's on right now, on his defensive positioning right now. But he has that on his own individual plan. So as you can see here with Sam Hughes, his dribbling's actually gone up by 1. And what I think that's down to is the fact that he's been training in roles where it's been able to be trained, and he's also had it as part of his plan. I just think overall he's improved quite a lot, actually. He's been pretty good in his attribute development. If not always his performances, he has done well in his attribute development, and he seems to work hard in training, so fair play to Sam. Ben Garrett just sort of carries on, doesn't really get any better, never gets any worse. He's just sort of there, isn't he? Does a job for us in goal, fair play. Because if it wasn't for him, we'd be in a little bit of trouble. Callum Butch, I just don't understand him. I can't wait to get rid of him. I know he looks half decent here, but I might just let him go. He's not improving ever. He never plays well in matches, so I might just get rid of him. Just let him go. So the coaches have changed their opinion of Shaughnessy quite a bit since we've been promoted. They don't feel like he's as good as a midfield player, I guess. I guess they've looked at him as a midfield player. I don't think he's as good of a midfield player compared to the championship players, which is obviously the case. But yeah, I mean, he's been pretty steady. I guess he's like the outfield equivalent of Ben Garrett. He doesn't really get any better or get any worse. He's just sort of there. He's getting to the sort of peak years of his career. So hopefully he just stays like this for a few years if he's not going to improve, you know. But yeah, I think he's all right. He does well. He does well enough in training, and he seems to play well in matches, obviously. So it's a shame, because if we'd have done this like 3 weeks ago, you would have seen like these greens going up everywhere on some of these players. But Hamer's done pretty well. I think his attributes have improved a little bit compared to when we started the save. I mean, yeah, look at the coach's opinions of him. It goes down a little bit here. Look at that. It shoots straight back up. He's been fantastic this season. Physically, he's doing really well. What is he working on right this second? I've not changed it yet, by the way. So he's just finished agility and balance. I'm just about to change it now to something else. So yeah, really impressed with him. He's been fantastic in both development and in terms of his playing ability as well. Terry Taylor, look at that. He is still the success story of the save so far in terms of the player development. Absolutely brilliant development across the board. Absolutely everywhere. But the coaches love him as well. Look at that. They do love him. 4.5 stars they think he is. He's had offers from Champions League level clubs. He won't sign a new contract, I don't believe. No, he won't. But he's still got... How many more years has he got? I mean, he's still got 2 more seasons left, so good luck to him getting away from the club. There's no point me selling him, is there? So he's just going to have to stay until the end of his contract. So we've got him for 2 more years still, which is good. Kieran Gilligan, I'm assuming he actually has improved a little bit. I feel like he's gone better. Yeah, a little bit here on the old attributes. Progression has been pretty good. The coach's opinion of him has changed quite a lot as well. It's gone up quite positive. I feel like he can compete in the championship, which is nice. I wasn't sure last season. I thought he'd be nowhere near good enough, and he'd actually be part of the problem, because he was like my next in-line central field player. And if every time my next in line comes in, he's nowhere near good enough for the level, that's a huge problem for us, right? But he is good enough, or at least he's playing well enough, and we're able to compete in the championship because of the performances that he's been able to give to us. So fair play to him. Look at that. I love this little tab here. Look at this. Johnny Smith just stagnating now. Disappointing. I just think he's reached his peak, and he's never getting any better for us, unfortunately, having learned that new position as well. So yeah, what a shame. Lakin has improved consistently for us. Coach's opinion has gone way up. Yeah, I thought so. Basically, a lot of players have gone up in terms of their progress and how they are perceived. In terms of attributes, yeah, he's looked really good as well. He's improved in quite a lot of areas. What's he worked on? Let's see what he's worked on recently. So he's been working on ball control. So let's take a look at first touch and dribbling. So you can see on dribbling, it's just gone up a tiny bit there, hasn't it? He's just been working on it last few months, and you just see that little tiny jump up there on his dribbling. So fair play to Charlie Lakin. So that's good for Charlie Lakin. He's improving a little bit. He's slowly improving his Charlie Lakin. He's 24. I feel like he's got about as good as he's going to get, but he's still improving at least a little bit, which is good. Now, Joe Powell. Now, Joe Powell is getting very, very close to pushing Terry Taylor for the biggest success story of the save so far. He's improving everywhere. He has been brilliant in matches. He's consistently been improving in training, and it's just taken a while for the attributes, I think, to sort of showcase it. I feel like he's been playing better in matches, and he looks like a better player. Do you know what I mean? So, what a play. He's brilliant, Joe Powell. He's improved and impressed me loads, and I'm so pleased to have him for... Oh, yeah, we've got him for like 3 years. Oh, no, so Joe Powell has signed a 5-year contract. Now, the downside is there is a release clause, right? But he has got 3 years left on his current contract, and I can trigger a 2-year extension to it. So, the only way we can really lose him is if somebody comes and offers us $1.5 million from the Premier League. Now, I don't think a Premier League team would buy him for $1.5 million, but you never know. They could do. I don't think they will. I mean, if we go down, we'd lose him for 900 grand, but my hope is that that doesn't happen, of course. Keller Dunn, not really improving, not really getting much worse, just sort of staying where he is. I think he's as good as he's going to get as well. He's sort of in that lacking department. Lewis Moore, not Not too much to say about Lewis Mott, really, other than he's like a win or just a year behind. He sort of declines in the same areas, he improves in the same areas. What's he been working on the last little while? He's been working on shooting. But I think before that, he was... he's working on his decisions and off the ball. I think we've been doing attacking training, though, in the last 2 weeks. Maybe he's reflecting on that a little bit. Yeah, there is part of me that thinks we should probably do something for a month, because like training on one area for a month might give us better returns in terms of being able to see the direct impact on their attributes. But it's not as realistic for a training program, so that's one of those, isn't it? I think for now I'm going to keep it as it is. And to be honest, because I've seen improvements on last year, I don't want to change it too much going into next year. I might give it like another second year of going through the full cycle again and seeing how it comes out 2 years in a row. But yeah, he's doing all right. Winnell, pretty much, yeah, like I said, like Lewis Mort, but a year further down the line, he's just going to keep declining, unfortunately. Okay, so we've had Terry Taylor, we've had Joe Powell, and now we've got Victor. Victor has impressed me loads. He's been improving across the board. His attributes have been slowly improving for us across the board as well. He's been playing well in matches, and I think he could be a really, really good player. He, again, also has a 3-year contract. A minimum fee release clause doesn't exist, but a relegation one does. But it is £3.3 million. So I think we're okay. We're going to keep Victor. To be honest, if we had Victor in League One, if we did get relegated, I do think he would give us enough to give us a chance of coming straight back up, because he's just so effective. Like, he's effective in the Championship. He was effective in League One. I think he always gives us a fighting chance of not being sacked effectively. So, and he's only 25, so we've got plenty of years left before we have to start worrying about a striker to bail us out. Right, that is the first team. Let's take a look at some of the notable youngsters and see how they're getting on. So John King, nothing to write home about yet. The coaches think he's slightly improving. I mean, I guess it's a wait-and-see process right now. He's not really changed too much yet. Okay, so Cameron Gilbert is a player in our under-18s who has been at the club since the start of the save, and he is improving across the board. I do keep noticing that he seems to be getting a little bit better each time I look at the under-18s. Maybe he's worth a go at putting in the squad for next year, because he could easily be like a backup centre-back. Like, is he good enough to play? No. But he improved so much. Maybe he is worth just giving a go to in a few games and just seeing whether he sinks or swims. Sam Heller's already improved his pace +1, which is quite an important one for him to have improved on. I think he could be ready to play some first team matches towards the back end of the season if we're not in a relegation dogfight. Like, is he good enough? No, but I think he could at least hold his own a little bit. If we had to play him as a starter in League One next season, probably not quite good enough, but I think players like Victor could bail him out and give him a chance to flourish in the first team. I just think that being in the Championship hinders his ability to play and improve when he gets to like 18, so we'll see. Again, similar to the Cameron Gilbert thing, we've got Johnny Rush here. Johnny Rush is a existing youngster who I've sort of ignored for a little bit. He's really improved across the board. Now, he could legitimately be our backup left wing back. In fact, he's probably better than Thierry, I would say. So I might even drop Thierry. I might just drop him, put Johnny Rush up into the first team, because he's doing pretty well. Maybe not right now. I don't want to mess up his development while he's improving where he is. So let's keep him in the under-18s for now. Let's keep him playing matches there, and then we can maybe look to progress him later on. Gary Gray, yeah, looks like he's going nowhere progression-wise, but we'll keep tabs on him. Then lastly, Randy, our 6'4" centre-back that was in our youth intake last year. Slow progress, I would say, for him so far, but it's hard to tell until we get a full year out of the youngsters. But yeah, I mean, they're all doing okay. Nobody's really setting the world alight, I would say, right now. But yeah, it's all going okay, I would say. It's all going pretty steady. I'd say for the first team, they've taken a pretty decent step forwards. I just think that if they would have improved this much, the first team last season, we'd be a lot further down the line. I mean, this save was never going to be about trying to turn the existing players into the next Wonder Kids. It was about putting a framework in place that got the best out of them to then try and generate the next golden generation of players using the England DNA for our new gens, right? That's sort of what the first team players are there to be, sort of like almost like test subjects for us and see what we can do with them and provide a good platform for the youngsters coming through. And they're doing a good job of it so far, I would say. Maybe too well. Maybe they're doing too good of a job of it. But yeah. So what I'm going to do off camera now is I'm going to change all these players to their next set of training. But yeah, I'll do that off of camera. In terms of next episode then, I don't think we're going to learn too much in any point soon, right? So I'm thinking we come back for potentially same thing again, so we can go Millwall, Cardiff, then do an attribute reveal again. Maybe do the same thing. So we miss out a load of games here. We come back for those two there. Okay, that's really good because that's another test. That's 2 games, 3 days away. Let's do that. Let's do Millwall and Cardiff at home. Hopefully no cup games take that fixture out or mess it up. But that's what we'll do. We'll come back for those two. We'll skip quite a few games here. I just don't think that we're not going to be completely safe and we're not going to be completely down in that time frame. So although it looks like we're missing quite a few games, we're not really missing anything. I don't think too much in that in that time frame. And it sort of opens up the question a little bit from me to you watching this. Like, when we get into these seasons, like, do you want to see more of like a let's play where I do show you, let's say, Birmingham, Swansea, then Millwall, Cardiff? Do you want that, or do you want to see more the development side? So you just want to see basically it every 3 months at the start, and then of course always in the seasons we'll come back for the later ones, because that's when promotions are played for, relegations are for, that's when trophies are played for, right? You know, do you want to see more games skipped in this series, or do you want it just be like a normal let's play? Because I think if it was a normal let's play, I'd probably come back for those 2 games there rather than those 2. But I'm just thinking in this season, that seems right. I'm not saying I'm going to do this every single time, but I just think this season right now, I don't think I'm going to learn anything in that entire period until this point here. It's just going to be a case of, are we in the relegation zone already, or are we just outside of it? I think it's the only real question. So hopefully that makes sense. If it does seem like a lot of games to miss, hopefully that does make sense though, because I don't think you're going to miss anything. If I felt like you were going to miss a crucial part of the journey, then I would take you along with me, but I just don't think you're going to miss too much. And then we can just review the attributes again. I think it seems like a really good stopping point. I just want your feedback, because I don't want to get into a habit of doing that every year, going, right, okay, I don't want it to be like, oh, we've done the November, December matches and attribute update, and then next, let's do the February, March one. You know, I don't want to do that every single time just because it's part like of a routine. I want it to be that, you know, you're not missing anything, right? So do let me know in the comments what you think about that, if you've got any suggestions or anything you'd like to see. But that is going to do the episode. All I can say is a massive thank you to all of you for watching the series. I know some of you watched it a lot at the start and are going back and watching it and catching up when it's 2-3 episodes are up in a row. Yeah, this series is going to continue. Like, it doesn't bother me whether it's getting 100,000 views or just 100. If there are multiple people watching this series and it's something that they want to watch and that they've invested their time into, I'm going to finish it. And you can trust and rely on me to make sure it gets finished. So we'll definitely finish this series all the way through. I'm not too bothered about the view count. Of course, I'd love people to want to watch it. I'd love my view count and subscriber count to be as big as possible. Everybody would. Why would you not? But that isn't going to stop me from creating videos. We're going to finish this series because there could be people that watch this in like August, right? And they're looking for FM content and they happen to start the series then. And look, lucky for them, they get to start all the way at the beginning. They get to watch us somehow get promoted in our first season. Yeah, so I just thought I'd let you know that. So don't worry about me not ever carrying it on. Just that sometimes this one will be slightly harder to get out every other day because, like, as you can see here, if we're coming back for those 2 matches, that's a lot more games to play through. As of right now, it's not a huge deal, but it just, you know, if I happen to be really busy and I had to get through all these games, there's a chance that might take me an extra day than normal. I love this series. It's something so different for me, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I just can't wait to see a few years in whether we really can develop players and then get them playing at the Championship, Premier League, and then hopefully Champions League level. That's the aim, isn't it? But yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.